I think one of my earliest memories that kind of fueled the whole fashion designer in me was when my Cuban grandma was telling me a story of how when she was younger, she would make all these dresses for my mom. And a lot of the times when she was working with lace, she would actually dye it in Cuban coffee to kind of give it like a nude kind of tan look. And that kind of like just set a light bulb off in my head when I was a little kid. And from then on, I literally started dyeing like everything in Cuban coffee just for fun. Earliest life memory, it'd probably be on a beach in Anguilla. That's kind of like all we did was the beach. Probably from like 2 to 9 years old, lived in Anguilla.
Toby.
Hi, Toby. When I came to Miami, it was like almost the first time I saw McDonald's. Like that didn't exist out there in the Caribbean. Going from Anguilla to Miami was like a huge culture shock for sure. And that's kind of like where I was introduced to like sneakers and the whole scene. And it was kind of through skateboarding. I was skateboarding at the time. I picked that up. That's like what everyone was doing. I spent most of my time off the key, and so I took the metro every morning to and from school. A funny memory that I have is because at the time in high school I was very into sneakers, and so when I would put on like a very nice pair of sneakers that I had, I would always put them in my backpack and I would go to school in slides because I was scared that someone would try to take them on the metro from me. And so I remember that at times, you know, taking my What the Dunks off and putting the slides on to go into the metro and like hiding the shoes so that no one would see them. I think my work was definitely a natural response to kind of moving to Miami. All the leaves or anything from any of the patterns, any of the shirts are all things that I've photographed and have just found either in my backyard or walking around the neighborhood. It's honestly just something that I spend a few minutes every day doing so that I can sort of kind of like build up this database of graphics that I can just kind of like use whenever I want. I think like for me, when I look at some of my work, for example, some of the Sunstressed stuff, it's almost like there's so much commotion and so much like showstopper partying going on in Miami that like I think a lot of people overlook all of these like beautiful things around them. So I feel like Cuban coffee has always been a part of, you know, my family and the culture and even just like my day-to-day experience drinking it every morning. And it's funny because in Miami, it might seem like very overdone. They've all seen it a million times, but I don't think people outside of Miami or the rest of the world has seen it enough. And so I think it still can be very powerful. So I think when you talk about dreams, at least for me, my dream isn't like some sort of collaboration or like ultimate project. It really is just like the ability to do this every day and create what I want to create and kind of just like wake up and like work on the projects that I want to work on.